Good morning and welcome to all SYBC students. This is semester 4th for you, and in this semester I am going to teach you the paper first. The name of the paper is Oscillations, Waves and Sound. Okay, now this paper contains totally 5 chapters. The first chapter is undamped free oscillations. Second one is damped oscillation. Third one is forced oscillations. Fourth is wave motion, and last one is Doppler effect and sound. Now here, this Doppler effect and sound, these are 2 chapters, but they are combined together in the new syllabus. Okay, so total you have to study these 5 chapters in this semester. Right? Now, if we consider chapter first, that is undamped free oscillation. So I will give some introduction about these chapters. Now, if we consider undamped free oscillation, that means here word free means the oscillation obeyed by the body is always free. Okay, that means free oscillations. Meaning of this free oscillation is that there is no any type of force acting on the body. That means, in other words, I say that free oscillations means oscillation of the body can be considered into the space or vacuum, and there is no medium or resistive force due to the medium. Okay, undamped. Damping means, the word damping means the amplitude of oscillation is continuously dying with time or decreasing with time, and this amplitude decreases only when we consider the oscillation in the medium. So in the medium gives the resistive force, and this resistive force acts on the oscillator. So its amplitude is continuously goes on dying. Okay, that means damping meaning is that the amplitude of oscillator which is oscillating is continuously goes on decreasing with time. So here is word undamped. That means this oscillation in which the amplitude of oscillator does not dies or decreases. Okay, so this is undamped free oscillation. That means here we have to consider the oscillation of any body in free space or vacuum where no medium is present. Right? So if we consider oscillation in free space, then the amplitude of oscillator always remains constant. No decrease of amplitude are there. Okay. Then, if we consider undamped free oscillation, then the force, that is only one force called as the restoring force, is acting on the body, and this restoring force is directly proportional to the displacement of the body from its mean position and directed opposite to the displacement. You know that if we denote restoring force by letter M, and when this force is applied on the body or oscillator, then it gets displaced from its mean position. Okay, then this restoring force is directly proportional to the displacement of body from its mean position. Mean position means equilibrium position, and the direction of force and displacement are opposite to each other. So we write here F directly proportional to minus x, or F equal to minus kx, where k is the constant of proportionality and this is the restoring force which is acts on the body so as to perform oscillatory motion. Okay. Then second chapter is damped oscillation. Damped means there is decrease in its amplitude continuously with time. So damped oscillation and in damping, the two type of force are acting on the oscillator. That means here we have to consider the oscillation of the body in a medium. If you consider oscillation of body in a medium, then there is always resistive force due to the medium which acts on the oscillating body. So if we consider damped oscillation, then in damped oscillation two types of forces are acting on that body. The first force is restoring force and second force is the damping force or resistive force due to the medium. And this damping force is proportional to the velocity of the body. Okay. Here restoring force is directly proportional to displacement, and in damping force or damping force is directly proportional to the velocity of the body. That means rate of change of the displacement. So here we consider this damping force, that is Fd, then it is equal to directly proportional to dx by dt. Right here Fd equal to r dx by dt, where r is the damping coefficient. Okay. So any body performing damped oscillation is always acted upon by two types of forces. First force is the restoring force and second one is the damping force. Restoring force is directly proportional to displacement, while damping force is directly proportional to the velocity of the oscillator. Okay. Here if you consider the damping force, then this damping force always opposes the oscillation of the body, and restoring force always maintain the oscillation of the body. So we consider this restoring force and this one is the damping force. Here restoring force always maintain oscillation of the body, while damping force decreases or opposes the oscillation of the body. After some time, effect of this restoring force diminishes and there is only effect of this damping force on the body. As a result, the amplitude of the oscillator continuously goes on decreasing, and lastly the oscillator comes to the rest position. Okay. Then third chapter is force oscillation. In force oscillation, external force must be applied on the oscillator to maintain the oscillation of the body. That means up to damped oscillation, here amplitude continuously decreases. When we want to maintain the oscillation of the body as it is, then we have to apply external periodic force on that body to maintain its oscillation or to maintain the amplitude. Right? Therefore, in forced oscillation, any body or oscillator performing forced oscillation, it is acted upon by three type of forces. Right? The first force is restoring force, second one is the damping force, and third one is the external periodic force. So So third force is external periodic force. Okay, so these three forces, storing, damping and external periodic force, are acts on the oscillator. Then the oscillator perform or obeys the force oscillation, right? Then wave motion. In wave motion, here we have to derive the equation of motion or wave in continuous media. And wave equation, when we develop this wave equation, then next we have to study expression of longitudinal wave, transfer wave, intensity of wave, and etc. Okay. The fifth chapter is Doppler effect and sound. So this is combined chapter. You know Doppler effect. This Doppler effect is given in terms of the apparent frequency or change in frequency about the sound. Okay. So first, now here we have to study the principle of Doppler effect, its definition, then equation of the Doppler effect, that means change in apparent frequency, and after that we have to study Doppler effect in light. And in sound, we consider the sound, its parameter or characteristics, Sabin's formula, reverberation time, and etc. Okay, so this is the introduction of the syllabus, right? Now next, we actually start our first chapter is undamped free oscillations. So in this chapter, first we see some definitions. The first definition is what is meant by oscillatory motion. What is meant by oscillatory motion? Any body will move back and forth about its mean position is called oscillatory motion. That means any object or body, when it moves back and forth about its mean position, then it is called as the oscillatory motion. We take example of simple pendulum. When simple pendulum move back and forth about its mean position, then it is the oscillatory motion, or simple pendulum is said to be performing oscillatory motion. Now, this oscillatory motion of body is possible only when the body has its inertia. First is inertia, then body has potential energy and body has kinetic energy, right? So in order to perform oscillatory motion, then that body or oscillator have its inertia containing or storing potential energy and kinetic energy. So during oscillatory motion, there is continuous interchange between kinetic energy and potential energy. That means during the oscillation, kinetic energy is converted into potential energy, or potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. Okay? So we consider next is periodic motion. Periodic motion. Now here, this oscillatory motion turn into the periodic motion when the motion of body is repeated itself in a equal interval of time. That means any body repeat its motion itself in an equal interval of time, then such type of motion is called periodic motion. Now here sine and cos are the harmonic function, and these sine and cos have the same value after certain interval. Okay, so equation of motion of simple harmonic oscillator is given in terms of the sine or cos, right? So periodic motion means the motion which is repeated itself in an equal interval of time is called the periodic motion. Sine and cos are the function which are the periodic because they are repeated itself and have equal value after some interval. Okay, so this is the periodic motion, right? This periodic motion is also called as simple harmonic motion. When we call this periodic motion as a simple harmonic motion, when the force acting on the body is directly proportional to the displacement from its mean position and opposite to the displacement, that means force is opposite to the displacement. That equation is F equal to minus kx, right? That means force acting on the body is directly proportional to its displacement from mean position and directed toward the mean position. Then such a type of motion is called simple harmonic motion. Harmonic means that is repeated equal interval of time. It's called harmonic. So periodic motion is called as the simple harmonic motion, under which the force is directly proportional to displacement and directed opposite to the displacement. Okay, then next we consider period. What is period? You know that we have studied in 11th and 12th science. Okay, and that also you have studied in first year. What is period? Period is the time taken by the oscillator to perform oscillations, or time taken or required to the oscillator to complete one oscillation is called the period. So period is denoted by letter capital T, and it is equal to 2 pi upon omega. Okay, so this is the definition of period. Then we define frequency. Frequency, what is meant by frequency? Frequency is the number of oscillation per second, right? Number of oscillation performed by body in 1 second or per second is called its frequency, and it is denoted by letter N and also letter M. The frequency of oscillator denoted by letter N or M, and it is the number of oscillation performed by the body in 1 second. Okay, so these are some primary definition. This is periodic motion, oscillatory motion, what is meant by period, what is meant by frequency. Then last we consider the equilibrium or mean position. Equilibrium or mean position. Okay, so we see what is meant by equilibrium or mean position, right? Equilibrium is the position of the particle at which no net force is acting on that particle. That means it is the position where no force is acting on the oscillator at that point. That means total force acting on the body is always zero at this point. or this position is called the equilibrium position. Okay. Then if we consider conservative system, in conservative system the force acting on the body is derived from the negative gradient of the potential energy, right? That means if we consider force F, and we know the potential energy of the oscillator and its position, then the force acting on the body in a conservative system, the force is equal to minus dV by dx. Okay. So here if we consider F is the force, and this force is derived from the negative gradient of the potential energy. Gradient means derivative of potential energy with respect to position or distance, and this quantity or this term is the slope. Negative of the slope is equal to the force acting on the oscillator at that point. Okay, so here we can take F equal to minus dV by dx. That means we can simply say that in conservative system force is derived by taking the negative gradient of the potential energy. Negative, this is the gradient is derivative of the potential energy, and this gives the force acting on the oscillator at that particular point, right? Now here we also know the potential energy is the function of distance, right? With this potential energy V and this is distance x, then these two quantities depend on each other. As distance increases, the potential energy also increases, and distance decreases, potential energy of oscillator decreases. That means here potential energy is directly proportional to the distance of the oscillator from its mean position. Okay. So when we plot the graph of potential energy versus distance like this, along x-axis we take the distance, and along y-axis we take the potential energy. Okay. Then we draw curve of any shape like this. Okay. Then I consider point A, point B, point C, right? Then if we want to calculate force at point A, then it is the negative of the slope at point A, right? That means force at point A, Fa equal to minus dV by dx at point A. So Fa equal to minus dV by dx at point A gives the force acting on oscillator at point A. Similarly, force at point B acting on oscillator is the negative of the slope at point B, same as for point C. Okay, so this is the main where force acting on the oscillator is derived from the negative gradient of the potential energy. Okay, so with this lecture I stop here. Have a good day.